NVIDIA.
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 NVIDIA. NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NVIDIA.
NVIDIA was founded in 1993 with a vision to change how we play video games. This is what video games looked like in 1993, and this is what video games look like now.
To see a Forza game on this.
NVIDIA not just revolutionized the gaming industry, but also it is the most important player in current AI revolution. NVIDIA powers companies like OpenAI, Tesla, Google, Meta. Talking about the finances, if you have invested $10,000 in NVIDIA in 1999, today it would be valued at $35 million, which is the dramatic increase in just 2 decades. In this video, we are going to talk about the birth of NVIDIA, the initial story of Jensen Huang, who is the magician behind this company, the founder of this company.
On the Mac, it's called Persuasion.
NVIDIA creating their first GPU, entering into AI, becoming the most valued company in the world, and in the end, we are going to talk about the lessons we can learn from this case study.
On the Mac.
NVIDIA is a US company, but its story doesn't start in US, it starts in Taiwan, where Jensen Huang was born. He was born in a Taipei city of Taiwan. Huang and his family lived in Taiwan for a few years before moving to United States for better education and lifestyle. After moving to United States, he went to Aloha High School in Oregon and also completed his graduation from Oregon State University. And later, he did master's degree in electrical engineering from Stanford University. During his teenage years, he worked at Denny's, the American dinner chain. Later in his life, when he was building NVIDIA, he mentioned over and over again that most of his learnings about leadership hard work came from working at Denny's. After completing his graduation from Oregon State University, Huang worked as a design engineer at AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and after working few months at AMD, he joined LSI Logic, served as a microprocessor designer, and later became the director of Core Logic. One day, Curtis Prime and Chris Malachowski comes to visit Huang and ask him to start a company with them. Huang being hesitant at first, but finally agrees to meet with them at Denny's restaurant. For the next few months, they regularly met at Denny's and discussed about their business ideas.
We came here, right here to this Denny's, sat right back there, and the three of us decided to start the company.
Huang was hesitant at first to leave LSI Logic because he has no reason to. He was happy, he was getting good pay, he was managing his own division, he was building reputation and connections. But somehow Chris and Curtis convinced him to leave LSI Logic and start a company with them. The initial idea of the company was to create 3D graphics for gamers. These 3D graphics could be installed in CPU, and it would enhance the overall experience of playing games for the gamers. It would increase the graphics quality and rendering of the games. Huang, Chris and Curtis founded NVIDIA in 1993 with a vision to create 3D graphics for gamers. The first product of NVIDIA was NV1. NV1 was incompatible with most games, and it was costly to produce and included built-in audio processor, game controller support, making it complex than necessary. Competing graphic cards like 3dFX, Voodoo Graphics were simpler, cheaper and gained more popularity, which led to the failure of NV1. NVIDIA landed a contract with Sega to build graphic chips for Dreamcast video console. They would work on a project for a year. Sega president at the time, Scorio Irimazuri, came to visit Huang in person to deliver the news that Sega was going with another graphic chip vendor because the design of the chip NVIDIA was building was not compatible with the market standard. This was again a second failure for NVIDIA. But Irimazuri still believed in Huang and wanted to make NVIDIA successful. In spite of pulling out contracts, Sega still paid full amount of NVIDIA as an investment in the company, which was $5 million at the time. It is also said that it was the best decision Irimazuri made being the president of Sega. Years later, Huang said that it was all the money NVIDIA was left with, which gave them 6 months to live. It's 1996. It's been 3 years since the founding of NVIDIA, and NVIDIA has suffered 2 major failures during this period. Huang laid off almost half of the employees. At the time it was 100. and recentered all the resources, all the energy, all the attention to one product, Riva 128. At the time of the launch of Riva 128, August 1997, Nvidia was down to just 40 employees and only had money left for 1 month of payroll. Fortunately, Riva 128 was a success. Nvidia sold about 1 million Riva 128 in about 4 months and used the money to develop the better products and move company to the next level. In 1998, the release of Riva TNT further solidified the company's reputation as capable graphic cards developer. In the late 1999, Nvidia launched GeForce 256, its first product marketed as GPU, which is popularly said to be the first GPU. The GeForce outperformed existing products by wide margin, which further solidified the company's reputation, leading to winning a huge contract for designing graphics hardware for Microsoft Xbox console, which earned Nvidia $200 million in advance. In the next few years, Nvidia became a leading GPU supplier. Throughout 2000, Nvidia became bigger and bigger, acquiring much of its competition, becoming a member of S&P 500. At this point, Nvidia was among only a handful of companies who produced consumer-grade GPUs, alongside AMD, another American chip manufacturer. It is also a company where Huang worked as a design engineer in his initial years. Nvidia made GPUs for Samsung PlayStation 3, Microsoft Xbox. The company invested heavily in research and development throughout, continuously improving its technology and taking video gaming experience to a whole new level. Right around early 2000s, a quantum chemistry researcher at Stanford calls up Huang and says thank you. He says, I do computational research using computers installed in my lab. It takes a couple of weeks to complete the computation. My son, who is a gamer, said I might wanna go over to local electronics store and buy a bunch of your G4 cards. So I did it and I installed it in my personal computer. And when I started my computation, to my surprise, it finished my computation in just a couple of hours. And I did the same computation at the supercomputer installed at Stanford, and I waited a couple of weeks, and when the computation was finished and I checked the results, they were identical. Similar to the story of this Stanford professor, lots of stories were coming from all over the country praising the brilliance of GPUs that were not just being used for gaming purpose but for a lot of other tasks. This is where Nvidia realized their GPUs could be used for more than just gaming. So they released a software called CUDA, Compute Unified Device Architecture. CUDA's main purpose was to enable parallel computing on GPUs, allowing Nvidia's graphics hardware to be used for a variety of non-graphical tasks, non-gaming tasks such as scientific simulation, image and signal processing, video encoding. Its ability to process multiple tasks simultaneously opened a new possibilities in computing, which later led to the massive adoption in fields like artificial intelligence and machine learning. In the last decade, AI has just not remained a science fiction, it became a living reality. A lot of the tech we use today are powered by AI. Tech giants like Microsoft, Google, Tesla fill their data centers with thousands of Nvidia A100s. These engines used to train large language models like ChatGPT, AI generative models. It is also a tech behind some early convincing, some say dangerous deepfake videos, text and audio.
Possible with powerful computer and editing. It took around 72 hours to create this example from scratch using extremely powerful GPU.
In 2016, Huang personally delivered the first AI supercomputers to OpenAI, and in 2017, researchers began to work on what would eventually become ChatGPT.
The large language model breakthrough. I hand-delivered the world's first DGX to OpenAI. Since then, half of the Fortune 100 companies have installed DGX AI supercomputers.
Amazon and others uses Nvidia to power their robots in their warehouses and create digital twins of massive spaces and run simulation and optimize flow of millions of packages each day. Driving units like these in NVIDIA robotics labs are powered by Tegra chips that were once a flop within mobile phones. Now they are used to power world's largest e-commerce operations. NVIDIA Tegra chips were also used in Tesla Model 3s from 2016 to 2019. Now Tesla uses its own chips, but NVIDIA is making autonomous driving tech for other car makers like Mercedes-Benz. NVIDIA also powers leading cloud services such as Amazon AWS, Alphabet Google's Cloud, Microsoft Azure. NVIDIA transformed into a leader in AI technology, capitalizing on the surging demand of AI application and data center solutions. In May 2023, NVIDIA briefly crossed the $1 trillion market capitalization, driven by the strong financial results and optimistic sales forecast. This milestone marked its entry into an exclusive club of tech giants including Apple and Microsoft. The company's rapid growth was further accelerated by its pivotal role in the AI revolution, with its GPUs becoming the essential for training advanced AI models.
H100 modules. H100 has a transformer engine designed to process models like the amazing ChatGPT.
Let's kick it off. Our top story today. NVIDIA, now a $3 trillion company, the second largest company in the US.
By June 2024, NVIDIA's market cap soared up to over $3 trillion, making it the third US company to achieve this feat. Now it's time to talk about the lessons we can learn from NVIDIA's case study. Every experience matters. He speaks fondly of his time at working at Denny's restaurant and lessons he learned. Even as the CEO of a $1 trillion company, Huang is proud of having worked his way up from dishwasher to waiter at Denny's. Huang has stated his time at Denny's shaped his approach to work and stress profoundly, helping him to perform better under pressure. He says that his heart rate actually drops and he performs at his absolute best when the stakes are high, something he credits to having walked through countless rush hours in his youth. At a time when NVIDIA got founded, they had a vision that they are going to change how people play video games by creating 3D graphic chips. There was no other company that were doing this. Even playing games on PC was not popular, but still they risked their money, amount of time to build something that no company has ever done before. Same with AI revolution. NVIDIA was the first to create AI graphics chips ever, though there was no AI market. But they believed that if they invest early on in AI, it could potentially be the right thing. The story of Jensen Huang and founding of NVIDIA is partly one of the sacrifices made by parents to give their children a better chance at life. But it's also a story of innovation and a willingness to take risks to achieve something that has never been done before. His leadership at NVIDIA has been absolutely crucial and is one of the single most important factor in the company's success. If it weren't for his willingness to take bold risks, the company he leads and loves wouldn't be where it is today.